Overthinking is often viewed by most of us as a negative thing. We tend to overanalyze situations so much to the extent that we end up not even starting in the first place. We end up pushing it to the side and putting it off because we've thought it through too much and we've almost convinced ourselves why we shouldn't do it. Instead, we should reframe how we view overthinking. Instead of focusing purely on the negative. Instead, we should reframe how we view overthinking. Overthinking is a gift. Einstein was an overthinker. He sat for hours overthinking certain ideas, certain situations. And look at him. He's one of the greatest geniuses to ever exist. The problem with overthinking is that we tend to focus too much on the negative aspect. We tend to run every single bad thing that could happen in a given scenario. We tend to focus only on the negative. It's not bad to be prepared for the worst case scenario, but it gets to a certain point where it's too much. Instead, consider the bad outcomes, but focus more on coming up with solutions to your problem instead. For example, instead of overthinking about how your business isn't going well or the possible things that could go wrong or, you know, not have enough money to start or taking care of your kids, try to think of how you can get out of the situation. Try to think of ways that you can improve right now instead of focusing on purely what would go wrong. Some benefits of overthinking are foresight, because when you run through certain scenarios in your mind, in a way, you're kind of projecting into the future of what could potentially happen. So if you are accurate in the way that you, I guess, perceive what is to come, it can be seen as foresight. Strategic planning. Being an overthinker will allow you to plan ahead of time, will allow you to set things in motion beforehand, giving you an upper hand against people that you are competing with. Analytical skills. I don't know about you, but I'm an overthinker and I find myself being very analytical about every little thing. And in most cases, it's helped me in my life. It's put me ahead of my peers. It allows me to see things that other people simply do not see. And to me, that's a gift. And lastly, it allows you to see things from all angles. It's basically the same thing as what I just said. Where other people see a dead end, you will see an opening. So don't view overthinking as a negative thing. The internet is trying to pound into people's minds that thinking too much is bad. No. Thinking too much about the wrong things is bad. When you are able to focus your thought on the positive, on how you can improve your situation, you'll find much more value in being an overthinker. None of this matters if you don't start today. None of this matters if you don't put the ideas that you are overthinking about in motion. Every time you have an idea, you need to strive to act on it as fast as possible. Anytime you have a creative impulse, write down how you can carry it out, the first steps that you could take, or else you'll find yourself just putting it off, and you will never start and you will be nothing because you started nothing. So the next time you feel yourself overthinking, the next time you feel like overthinking is going too far, try to focus on the positive. Yes, acknowledge the negative, acknowledge what could go wrong, but focus more on what you can do to improve your current situation.